Let's go, Kirby. Yeah, wait, go. That's 10. We can run, Mike.
Fields of Mankato.
I expect fast. Hey, let's play fast. Block, let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mankato, Minnesota. I'm Ryan Kassenschmidt, joined by my good friend Brian Christensen in just a few moments. We are bringing to you live Bethany soccer here between the Bethany Lutheran College Vikings and the Crown Storm. Two UMAC foes playing a non-conference game against each other today. Game just got underway here, as you see, just a few minutes off the clock. Wonderful day here in Mankato. Nice, sunny, slight breeze. And we're bringing to you the men's game now. After this, we'll bring to you the women's game between Crown and Bethany as well. As Crown is on the offensive here, going on the far corner. Cross into the box, and that is headed out by Bethany. And shot goes wide of the goal and into the street, so that will be a goal kick for the Vikings.
I think one of the things that a lot of coaches stress, especially early on in the soccer league, we're still in the first 4 minutes of play. But, this would be a good opportunity to take your shots, kind of feel out the defense of the opposing team, such as we just saw Crown do there. I think we'll see that for the first, 5-10 minutes or so. Teams try to be a little bit more aggressive than
Players to watch today for the Vikings. Jorge Perez, number 9 for the Vikings. He's got 4 total points with 2 goals in the last 2 games, as well as Michael Lagurcio, number 3 for the Vikings. In his last 3 games, Michael has attempted 13 shots, 5 of which were on goal. And a player to watch for the Storm today, number 12, Sam Ekman. Sam enters the game leading the team in shots and shots on goal. He also recorded a point this season with an assist against Bethany on September 12th when the two teams played. That game, played at Crown, ended in a 1-1 tie, and that is the only tie for either team this season. Bethany comes in with an 0-5-1 record. Crown comes in with an 0-3-1 record.
Center Ryan Jorge Perez and Mr. Michael Lagurcio, the 2 players to watch on the Bethany side of the ball. They've been in the same system as Coach Rob Peipel. This is Coach Peipel's 18th season, as we see some action down here in the corner here. Those 2 players very comfortable with each other. They've been with each other for their 4th season again as seniors. So they understand there's that dynamic to see them connect to this after.
Carter now, get back, let's go. Yeah, go.
Ball bouncing around midfield now on the far side. Looks like Lagurcio there. Gets his foot on it and goes into the box, but Crown is there to stop it. Ball in midfield, turnover by Crown. Vikings get the ball back. Lagurcio with the ball again. Kicks it into the near corner for Montejo. Gets it back to Lagurcio. Across the field, gets it to Brady Johnson. Johnson kicks it to the far side to Beegler. Beegler looking for his man Johnson. Back to Beegler. Back to Perez. To Kenny Johnson. Gets it to Brady Johnson. Over to Perez. A lot of ball movement here by the Vikings. Tees one up into the box, and that is taken care of by the Crown defense. Dante Irizarry was there with the header to clear it out.
Gotta like those passes early, lots of toe-to-toe passing. Very accurate so far. As we get some midfield play, here's Jocelyn for the ball.
Tough slide there by the Vikings' Jose Montejo. And Crown player looks to be a little shaken up there. Number 17, Jared Jones, struggling to get back on his feet. Referee's going to give him a little bit of a breather here to collect himself. But it looks like he will be okay, and he's going to take this free kick. On second thought, Angelo Silione will take the free kick. And it is away into the box, headed nicely by Klubal. And the ball goes past Bitter into the goal for Crown. And just like that, Crown takes a 1-0 lead over the Bethany Lutheran College Vikings.
Just being in the right place in the right time, took advantage of that misplay there on that header. I think the header was meant to go back to the Viking goaltender. Just a little bit too far.
Crown College goal scored by number 16, David Jensen.
You can see here on the replay, the header by Klubal went wide. Bitter went out to get it, and he did not see David Jensen there, who kicked it into the goal with ease as Bitter was out of position there. So an early goal for Crown. At midfield now, Perez has got it to Klubal. On the far side to Bamer. Biegler gets it to Lagurcio. Lagurcio gets it to Perez. Back to Lagurcio. Looking to get it in the box. Some trouble here for Crown. And Crown is able to corral it and is able to send it down the field. And for a clearance. A lot of contact there by Montejo on the Crown defender. Referee calls a foul. Crown wasting no time, tries to tee it off. But turnover back to the Vikings is Bamer. Ryan there. Knocks it out of bounds, and it'll be Crown ball.
You're in! Let's go, lock him in! Go!
Another turnover there. It's going to throw in here by Crown.
Yeah, go!
Stretched head. That's Perez. Vikings doing well in their man defense so far. Just one small slip up there. Go.
Klubal at midfield. Vikings moving the ball on Crown with some excellent passing. Just had that one slip up and puts him down 1-0 in the early going here in the first half. Brady Johnson up top to Klubal. To Jake Bamer. Biegler tries for Perez and it gets past him, and Crown will clear it back to midfield. And indeed, Jared Jones clears it all the way down. Bitter out of the goalie box for a second there as he was able to pick up the ball and get it back to the Vikings. Viking player down here. Took a little bit of a tumble as Bamer, and it looks like he will be okay as he gets back up to his feet, jogs it off. But it will be a free kick for the Vikings.
What do you think about this physicality so far? It seems you've seen a couple slide tackles, a couple pushes, jumping for those loose balls. As we get a free kick here, I'm expecting to see a little bit of jostling in front of the net. You want to see the Vikings be aggressive. Let's see what happens here with this free kick.
These two teams already a little chippy, as you said, Brian. They played each other last week, and so some familiarity there with each other. UMAC foes obviously play each other every year, and so familiarity with one another is often a reason for some of those chippy games.
After the refs gets squared away. Looks like Brady Johnson will take the free kick.
We both feel like it's a foul.
Looks to be some discussion with the scorer's booth. No one in the box for the Vikings, but the Crown player, the Storm, to be crowding the far side of the box there, awaiting this free kick.
Reichenbach, the goalie for Storm, as Johnson sends it in. Players crashing in. And the ball was free there for a moment, but Wayne York was able to clear it to stop the Bethany attack, at least momentarily, as the ball is sent down the field, sending the Bethany defenders scrambling to get it. Bitter having some contact with the Storm players, able to get a handle on it.
Don't know why he didn't just grab it with the hands there. I'm not sure if he was just outside the box in that instance, but nevertheless, it's Crown ball.
And the Storm getting some breakaway chances here thus far. Vikings taking a little bit more time to get a nice long offensive possession going. The Storm just wasting no time to get down the field on their offensive chances as the ball is thrown in for the Storm. Gets past the defender, tries to send it into the box, but Vikings were able to thwart that as that ball goes out of bounds. Bitter gets back up to his feet there as he's getting some water, help from the training staff.
I want to take a minute to thank our viewers on KTV Sports today. You're watching Crown College Soccer against the Bethany Lutheran College Vikings. 1-0 early on. It's the Crown Storm took advantage of a goaltender midfielder miscommunication about 6 minutes into the contest. So here's we reset. Storm with a big throw-in. And that ball looks to be in the box, booted around a little bit, eventually out, but it'll be corralled by the Storm. Caught off there by Klubal. And it's Legurcio who's going to send it down the near side to Bamer with some footwork.
Vikings ball into the box, headed out easily by Tyler Cancel from San Diego, California of the Crown Storm. Ball bouncing around midfield. Vikings regain possession. Bamer gets it out to Beagler. Bitter launches it to midfield as the Storm able to corral it, but Brady Johnson was able to get it away from the Storm, but this is sent down the field. And Reichenbach will come out and grab it.
Perez gets back to his feet real quick.
Ball sent down the field. A little bit of a breakaway here for the Storm. And a little bit of a tangle between Lee Leal and Kirby Shetler there as the ball goes out of bounds, and it will remain Storm ball. Leal getting a foot on the ball, knocking it away to stop that breakaway. And it will be a corner kick then for Jared Jones.
First set piece of the match coming here for either team.
So Jones is set, ball's away into the box, and it looks to be a little long and wide. And that one will go out of bounds safely for a goal kick for the Vikings.
Didn't see any Crown Storm players in the box to start that set piece, which is kind of interesting. So we were looking to, I'm not sure if the plan was to, send the ball outside the box to start and then work their way in. But nevertheless, it's a goal kick, and it'll be Viking ball.
Fall Festival weekend here in Bethany Lutheran College. A lot of alumni on campus today. A few of them, as you can see on your screen, coming over to watch some soccer. Bethany's version of homecoming, at least, bringing a lot of the folk that have Bethany ties back and putting on some festivities. And so a bigger crowd here today on this beautiful Saturday to watch the Storm and the Vikings play.
Bethany alumni coming to campus here from the graduating class as far back as 1955 is what I hear.
That is a long time.
That's a long time. I'm not sure how many people were in that class, but nevertheless,
enough to have a
I'm sure
reunion.
there's a good showing.
Storm player falls to the ground as they kick it over the box, and the Vikings send it out of play. It will actually be a goal kick for Bitter now. Beagler gets it to Leal, and clue ball. Lagurcio with the ball. Perez was there, but the Crown able to corral it.
Ball denied there. Storm trying to get some access into the box, but denied by defense of the Vikings. And here we have a push coming the other way.
And that push is via Kenny Johnson as he kicks it back to Brady Johnson. Brady gets the ball taken away by Nolan Peterson of the Storm. And so the Storm will stop that offensive attack for now. Vikings do still have the ball around midfield. As Brady Johnson getting into the corner looking for Kenny Johnson, but that will slide out of bounds. And it will be a throw-in for the Storm. Johnson gets it to Beagler, but that pass went wide and the Storm now have possession. Between the legs of Montejo, that pass went as it's going into the corner. Jared Jones sends it across into the box, looking for his man who's going towards the goal. Shot wide. And it'll be a goal kick for Bitter.
Crown, one of their better opportunities of the afternoon a minute ago, but the Vikings were able to retreat back on defense pretty quickly. Otherwise, Crown would have had some numbers down in the box. Still battling for position, though, is the Storm. On the far side now.
Pressure on!
Jared Jones has it taken away. And the Vikings will look to get the ball in the offensive side of the field. There's the whistle. Brady Johnson was looking to turn on the Jets there. But instead, there's the whistle. Here it is now. Storm send a ball deep into the Viking zone. That's brought out by Kubal. And it's going to be Bamer on the near side who gets tripped up. No whistle. And saved on the sideline. And that'll go out of bounds. We'll get a throw in here by the Storm.
Bamer still trying to shake off that hit.
Looks like he's asking for some help from the trainer. And we may get a sub
That's fine.
pretty soon for Bamer. He did take a couple pretty hard falls. Been tripped up a couple times.
Lagurcio now maneuvering at midfield. Perez still with possession after a pass to himself. Gets it up to Beegler. Gets it to Brady Johnson. Brady had Perez, but a good stop there by Crown. Brady Johnson now on the offensive gets it to Kenny Johnson. And that is a very spot-on defensive play there by Angelo Silione. Ball goes out of bounds as he was able to get that ball out of Kenny Johnson's possession.
We're going to see a throw in here on the far side by Beekler. Vikings looking for any opportunity to score. We've got Lagurcio and Perez stacked almost on top of each other. But the pass is short. Back to Beekler now, who will control. Brady Johnson with some man. Sends it in. Close to the box, but a save had to be made just in the top left corner of the net there by goaltender Nathan Reichenbach.
Reichenbach there with an alert play as the ball looked to possibly be heading to the top corner of the goal.
You know what? It looked like it too. It just could have dropped in there. Ooh,
corner
into
kick
the
there.
box.
Reichenbach again with the save. Vikings still with possession as that shot by Beekler is wide. And Crown will have a goal kick.
Like the aggressiveness there. There's a couple players storming into the box, if you will. A couple Viking players coming in. Brady Johnson as well as Thomas Vaughn.
Doesn't win this.
Kirby!
Crown with the ball at midfield. Jared Jones loses possession there as Meles Abraha, a new sub on for the Vikings, was able to steal that ball away, but the Crown was able to get possession again.
He was the sub for Bamer.
That one goes out of bounds, and that will be a Viking throw-in. Johnson gets it back to Beekler. Vikings had some good chances in the last couple minutes with a couple corner kicks. Looking to get on the board here as they are down 1-0 after an early goal by Crown in the first 10 minutes.
We can see that aggressiveness from the Vikings a couple times. You know, you said it a minute ago, they were down and had a couple corner kicks, a throw-in opportunity as well. You can see the aggressiveness. It's just nothing has been able to pan out so far. Always just a step too short.
Johnson gets it out to Beegler. Beegler takes it across midfield. He's got Perez coming down into the corner, and a nice stop there by Angelo Cilione. And the ball will go to Crown after that splendid defensive play. Cancel, tees off to Jones. Jones going to the near side. And that one is sent out of bounds.
Up to Crown College, number 9, Christian Olarte, number 5, Isaiah Steinkamp, and number 3, Austin Higginbotham.
On the near sideline now, it's going to be a throw-in for the Storm. Long windup. Throw will cross midfield, headed out of bounds by the Vikings, so we'll see a throw-in now for the Storm. Ball headed around a couple times, and Perez comes away with it with room to run. He's going to come up the near sideline, but defended there. That was Dante Azario.
Perez still trying to make something happen as he sends it into the box, looking for Kenny Johnson, overshoots him, but he is able to get it back to Beekler. Back to Johnson. Johnson looking for Brady. Johnson keeps it alive. A lot of contact between him and Peterson. Peterson is able to get a handle on the ball, sends it down the field. It'll stay with the Vikings as Bamer has it. Kicks it into the box, but that will be into the waiting arms of Reichenbach. Ball go out of bounds for a Crown throw. Azari trying to set it up at midfield. It'll be a foot race between Bamer and the Crown Storm player, and a lot of contact between Bamer and Olarte.
Big boot there from Bitter. But the Vikings can't control after that kick there. Into the box. Bitter has his options of Viking players. He'll pick it up. And the throw-in. It's the clue ball. Controlled at midfield. Swung to the far side now.
Bamer gets it over to Beegler as he was looking for Lagurcio, but the Storm defenders were there. And there it is for Beegler as he gets it for Perez. Perez has got some room into the box. And another defensive play made by Cilione as he gets it to Reichenbach. Inbounds pass here for Beegler.
George, Wayne.
And we're going to get a substitution here.
Tyler.
Now sitting in for Crown College, number 26, Franz Strantz.
Now coming in for Crown, Franz Strantz for Crown. And it looks to be Broderick Brown for the Vikings.
Number 15, Broderick Brown. Number 9, Jorge Perez.
Blue ball to Johnson. Johnson's got a little room to work here. Looking, a lot of contact
Johnson went down hard there.
Johnson and Steinkamp.
A little sportsmanship. Tail end of that play.
You can see there as Johnson was hit hard by Steinkamp, but thankfully both Steinkamp and Johnson are able to continue to play. As the ball goes into the box, Lagurcio to Kenny Johnson. Johnson tried to get it across and he was knocked out of bounds by Franz Schranz. And the ball was off of Crown, but the officials are going to give it to, going to give it to Crown, saying it was off Bethany. Reichenbach tees it up towards midfield. Johnson tripped up Peterson, but play continues as Bamer has it. Brown on the far side. Across to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson gets it for Lagurcio. Lagurcio's got some room as he's going into the box with it. Kicks it back out to Brown. Brown, fresh off the bench, gets it poked out. And a lot of contact between Lee Leal and Steinkamp, and that'll lead to a foul called on Leal.
You know, you saw the elbow extend a little bit there from Lee, and I think the ref has really no choice but to call that. So we get a quick turnaround. Crown, sending it into the offensive zone. They're going to get a throw in here, close to the corner mark. And a substitution coming here for Crown College.
Hey, 13, get on him. Oh! Up! Up! Get up! Good. Hold it, hold it, hold it! Get it, hold! Get up and do something!
Vikings take possession on the near side of your screen as Storm is knocked that one out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Vikings as get it into Brown. Brown, a little bit of room, a lot of contact. Ball stays in bounds for now. And a lot of contact in the corner, but the referee gives the ball to Crown. Pipel is not happy with that call, as it'll be a goal kick for Reichenbach. Excuse me, it'll be a throw-in in the corner for Crown as they take possession. Just over 13 minutes remaining here in the first half. Brown had it up top after a pass from Lagurcio, but the Storm is all over it. Beekler gets it up top and loses possession again. Tries to get it back, but not quite. Brady Johnson with the ball now. Looking for Kenny Johnson in the corner, but good defense there by Schranz. As Johnson will have to throw in after he was able to knock that one out of bounds. Gets it into Klubal. Gets it back to Johnson. Johnson to Johnson. Johnson up to Beegler. Beegler to Klubal. Down to Kenny Johnson in the corner. Tries to maneuver it out of there, and Schranz knocked it out of bounds. Goal kick into the corner kick into the box. Leal had a shot on it. Abraha calling for the handball. Nothing called there as the referees did not see what Abraha saw. And the Crown was able to clear it. A lot of plays chances there for the Vikings, as this one is headed for Lagurcio, but over his head.
It was the first real high-quality possession and time in the box that we saw from the Vikings. Just one too many black shirts in the way. Braha had a pretty clean look at the goal. He thought it was a handball. We'll see if they can capitalize back in the zone here.
A lot of contact there between Beegler and Peterson, as Peterson took a tumble. Beegler's contesting his case to the official, and he is not liking what he is hearing. As you can see on the replay here, looked like maybe a little bit of an elbow thrown by Beegler, but and so it'll be a free kick for the Storm. It will be Jared Jones with the free kick, I believe.
Four Storm players coming into the box now on the free kick. And goaltender, Mr. Matt Bitter. The sophomore comes out of his stance, corrals that ball, so it's going to be Vikings ball. Just as we hit the 10-minute mark here on KTV Sports.
A little bit of jawing there between Bitter and the Crown defenders. They're up in his face, and ball was sent all the way down, almost into the box. Brown was trying to chase it down before Reichenbach got his hands on it, but Braha has it on the near side. A lot of contact again. Clue ball. Back to Braha. Lagurcio tries to get it free. And it'll go back to Braha on the near side as he is pushed out of bounds. And the ball will be going Vikings' way.
Again, the physicality, we noticed, we talked about it a little bit at the start of the half, but it's only picked up, I think, since the first few minutes. Several elbows being thrown here in the last couple. Vikings ball, Braha. That spins away. Bitter coming out as that ball heads into the box. That'll be Reichenbach collecting, and he will roll through. Storm possession.
Kenny Johnson on the far side, looking to get something started. Back to Beegler. Beegler on the near side, Leal looking for Braha as the ball is sailed out of bounds, and that'll be a Storm throw-in.
Substitution for Crown College, number 14, Josh Sanford, going with number 13, Hunter Smith.
Midfield now for the Storm. Defended well by Brown. Takes a tumble, and that'll be another foul called on the Vikings.
Nothing. Hey, Leroy, 14.
So it'll be a free kick for the Storm. As you can see on the replay here, a little bit of a shove from Brown. Another shove from Brown, and that was one shove too many as he's calling for the foul.
Garrett Jones just surrounded by white coats there. Comes away with a free kick into the box. And it will go out of bounds. Looks like we're going to get a goal kick here. Back into the box, it was sent by the Storm. And Bitter corrals and waits for his offense to reset. And sends it long.
Lagurcio on the receiving end of that in the box.
2-on-1.
Crown with a little bit of a breakaway here. And the ball is saved by Bitter as Christian Olarte unloaded, and Bitter was able to corral it, sends the ball down on a goal kick, and that'll sail out of bounds. That'll be a throw in for Schrantz. Lagurcio maneuvering midfield to Leal. Leal to Abraha. Abraha's got a little bit of a room. Kicks it to Brown. Brown cut off and slips and falls, and that'll be storm ball as Leal able to get a nice slide tackle in on Leone. Throw in from Bosi.
Vikings create the turnover.
Johnson created the turnover as he got it to Kenny Johnson. Broderick Brown, fancy footwork, sends it into the goal, and it is saved by Nathan Reichenbach.
I'm not sure he got the right footing for that shot. It looked like he stumbled maybe as he went to go plant for the kick on goal. Didn't quite get the shot that he wanted to. Nevertheless, it's 1-0 Crown.
Under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Ball's thrown in. Crown on their side of the field. Looking to tally up another goal, make it a 2-possession game. Crown with only 2 goals all season coming into this game in 4 games. Goal kick from Reichenbach. Fight for possession at midfield as Crown's able to get away with it, but foot race for Bitter as he comes out of the goal to save that ball. Tried doing that earlier, and that was what led to the first goal by Crown when Bitter came out. Crown was able to pounce on the opportunities. That one sent down the field. Kenny Johnson tries to get it to Abraha, but a nice header defense by Peterson. Brown's got it. And a lot of contact there between Jared Jones and the Vikings, and so it'll be a free kick for Jared Jones. Cancel will take it. Gets it to Bosi. Bosi over on the near side. A little bit of room here. Nice slide there by Bamer.
Hey, Jake, 9 up top.
Throw in.
Anyone behind? What's up, the pressure?
And Lagurcio trying to get something started. Vikings players are yelling to go as we have just over 2 minutes remaining here. Brady Johnson with the ball. Tries to get it into the box, and Crown's there. Able to handle it. As Cancel will have it. Gets it over to Bosi. Bitter comes out and is able to unload it toward the sideline. It'll go out of bounds.
Thank you.
Go for it, go for it.
And Vikings had to throw in there looking for Brown. Brown had the pass cut off. But Johnson gets it over to Kenny Johnson. Kenny Johnson looking to put it into the box from the corner.
1 minute.
And he's looking for Klubal as Klubal comes into the box to Brown. Brown with the shot just high and over the goal.
Just barely missed that one. I think Brown had the right idea and just barely, maybe a foot or two high of the post. Great feed, though, from Johnson to Klubal over to Brown. It's a good setup for the Vikings as we hit about the 30-second mark left in the first half.
Reichenbach unloads. And Vikings are going to have to hurry here if they plan to get on the board before the end of the half. Midfield Crown maneuvering around. Get a little bit of a breakaway here as they have a little bit of momentum here in the closing seconds of the first half. Beegler sends it down towards the goal. And that will do it for the first half of play as Reichenbach sits on it. And we will go into half with the Crown Storm leading the Vikings 1-0. Brian Christensen, a physical first half to say the least.
I would say so. A couple quality opportunities by both teams. Not a whole lot of time spent in the box by either teams, but they've both gotten their looks, spent time in the box. That's what you like to see. Crown just able to make the most and capitalize on the one big miscue of the half. The Klubal header to Bitter that went just a little bit too wide. Let's take a look at that goal, actually, Ryan. If we can see here on the replay,
and here
ball
it
was
is.
sent in, headed out by Klubal, and Ryan, I think you said it. Bitter just might not have seen his man on the outside, and that resulted in a Crown Storm goal.
And that is the difference here today, as you can see the Storm with a 1-0 lead over the Bethany Lutheran Vikings. And we're going to take a little bit of a break. Brian and I will bring to you in just a short time the second half, see if the Vikings can get on the board and perhaps come back and make a comeback of this. So we will come back to you in just a little bit. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mankato, Minnesota, where Crown Storm lead the Bethany Vikings 1-0 here as we're about to start the second half. Crown came out, got an early goal about 10 minutes into the game, and the Vikings have come close but have not been able to find the back of the net yet. Vikings come in looking for their first win, as do the Storm. Storm 0-3-1, Bethany 0-5-1. Of course, the most important record would be the UMAC record for either team. Despite the fact that Crown and Bethany are UMAC teams, today's game is actually a non-conference game, so it will not count towards their UMAC record. However, their record, Bethany 0-1-1 in the UMAC play, and Crown also 0-1-1. So in the UMAC, these two teams are in fact tied. I'm Ryan Kassenschmidt, joined by my good friend and colleague for today, Brian Christensen.
Hello, friends. Let's watch some soccer. Great ball here into the box. Picked up by the goaltender, Nathan Reichenbach.
Ball bouncing around midfield. Crown coming. That one sent into the corner area as Bosey's there. Driving into the box. A lot of contact between Bosey and Montejo. Montejo was able to stop that. Leal trying to get it to Montejo. He does, and he clears it out. Johnson on the near side. That one's knocked out of bounds. Johnson again gets it in to Beegler and is cut off again by the Storm. Sent down the field. Klubal will have it. As that one nails Storm player in the face and will go out of bounds. Klubal gives it to Beegler, who will throw it in for the Vikings. Now it's sent towards the box, but Storm there yet again. A lot of contact as Beegler is able to corral it. Gets it over to Kenny Johnson. Johnson gets it to Lagurcio. Lagurcio. And the ball's up in the air. Still with the Vikings as it goes back high up into the air. Lagurcio gets a foot on it. Back to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson gets it across. Bouncing around midfield, Klubal there. Klubal again, this time tries to get to Kenny Johnson and it goes past him. Headed towards the out-of-bounds line. Storm will keep it in play. Just past the outstretched leg of Leal there. That one's headed towards the back of the net for a goal for the Storm. Derek Bosey was able to corral that ball, get past Leal, and put it into the back of the net.
Good feed there from midfield all the way up to the sprinting Crown Storm player who brought the Storm and put his Storm in the back of the net. Just a quick lapse of defense. Frankly, that's mistake number 2 for the Vikings. 2 mistakes and 2 capitalizations by the Storm.
As you can see, Bosey there gets it past the charging Bitter right into the back of the net, and that will put the Storm up 2-0 over the Vikings. Storm matching their season total output thus far in goal production, having 2 goals in the previous 3 games and putting up a 2 spot on the Vikings thus far today as we have the 41-minute mark remaining in the second half.
And frankly, there was really nothing else that Bitter could do but to come out to try to contest that ball. Bitter made the right decision. Unfortunately, his defense failed him in front.
Tremendous play by Bosey, and that will make the deficit for the Vikings even harder to overcome, but a lot of time left as Perez sends it into the box. Klubal trying for Kenny Johnson. Johnson corrals it, sizes up his defender, gets it out to Beegler. Beegler tries to get in the box, past a man, tries to get it to Lagurcio, and no. Reichenbach was able to get his foot on it and able to kick it out of play. It will be a corner kick, and Beegler does corner kick it to Lagurcio. Lagurcio tries to get it in, headed by the Storm and corralled by Reichenbach, and that will do it for the Viking offensive attack there. Reichenbach with the kick to midfield, and a foul called by the official, and it will be going the Storm's direction. kick will be taken by number 4, Angelo Cilione of the Storm. Cilione getting his teammates in position as he kicks it towards the box. Bitter's out and he catches it. No problem there for Bitter.
Interesting decision to just send it right into the box instead of maybe find one of his fellow Storm players. Maybe try for an opportunity there, but I suppose you got to take your shots. Still with approximately 40 minutes remaining in the second half.
Bitter will unload that back towards midfield. Storm a lengthy possession here as the ball's been on the Storm side of midfield for the last few minutes here. Beegler unloads it down into the corner. Perez trying to chase it down, and he does get a foot on it, but not before it goes out of bounds.
Perez asking for the corner there. I think he'll get it. Vikings are going to get a chance here. Brady Johnson looks to be taking the kick. Jorge Perez, we mentioned earlier, tied for the scoring lead with Michael Agurgio on the Vikings. With two goals apiece. The ball was headed away and out of the box. Back out to midfield, where Bamer corrals it, and he'll send it back to his goaltender. Saved from going out of bounds. We'll still get a throw in here.
Hey, Justin. Justin.
Kicked by the Storm as Hunter Smith with the ball here. Gets it over to Jensen.
Challenge in the box there by Leal. Bamer will send it down.
Towards Bitter, and Bitter's able to corral that for the save. Ball at midfield for the Vikings. Beegler gets it to Johnson. Johnson over to Johnson. Bamer back to Beegler. Bamer over to Kenny Johnson. Johnson's got a little bit of a room to work with here as he goes back to Bamer. Bamer looking for Brady Johnson, or excuse me, Clue ball, but that was intercepted. And now a little bit of room here for Crown. Ball's crossed across the field by Olarte, but nobody on the receiving end of that pass.
We're going to get a throw in here on the far side. Interesting decision to pass out to the corner there. It looked like the Storm player had some room in the middle of the field. Here's the throw in into the box. Headed out there.
A little bit of running room here for Bamer's. Bamer's got a little bit of a charge going. He's got Lagurcio out in front. He tries to get it to him. Lagurcio kicks it out wide for Kenny Johnson. Johnson keeps it inbounds.
Hey, wait, Tyler, wait. Get it up, Tyler. Hey, no time. No time. Left. Hey, wait, Justin.
And the Storm will take over the offensive attack.
Clue ball with a boot that goes wide. It'll be a goal kick here for the Storm.
Wide right on that shot.
Expect to see quite a few more of those as we close down. Only about 11 minutes into this second half of play, but the Storm have already put a goal in the back of the net. So I'm sure we'll see a bit more of aggressive play from the Vikings offensively, sending more balls into the box. There's a big bounce for Bitter.
Bitter, the sophomore goalkeeper from Bemidji, Minnesota. Lagurcio with a little bit of room. Tries to get into Kenny Johnson. Johnson running away as that one's kicked out of bounds by the Storm. Beegler will be the one to throw this one in. And he does. To Klubal.
Whistle there.
Hey, mark up. Watch one throw.
Throwing from Beegler as he gets it in.
Wait. Get up. Step up. Get him up. Hey, right side.
Replay of that last play. Some contact between the Vikings and the Storm. Continuing that theme of physical play as another whistle is blown.
We're going to get a turnover here.
So setting up to kick this one will be Cancel. Sends it away. Klubal gets a foot on it, up into the air. Headed by the Storm. Johnson with it. Over to Lagurcio. Lagurcio. 1-on-4 going on here. And as such, Storm's able to stop it. Leal tries to kick it in the box. Nothing doing. Looks like Brady Johnson got a kick to the shoulder there as he was trying to go for that ball.
He's back up. Ball sent down Johnson's direction. Bamer in the same area, but poked out of bounds, and we've got a goal kick coming for the Vikings. Johnson to kick. Vikings will set up looking to cut the deficit in half here. The call from Johnson, the kick. Sent in. Bouncing around. Off the post!
Perez's shot nailed off the post as Brady Johnson tried to throw that one back into the box, then he was caught by Reichenbach. A lot of good looks there for the Vikings, Brian.
Great presence in the box there for the Vikings. A couple good opportunities, unfortunately, just couldn't find the nylon.
And the player for the Vikings gets it over to Klubal. Back to said player. And Bamer trying to keep it out of the reach of the Storm as they had two players looking to crash on Bitter. But Bitter was able to get out there as Perez is being physically handled by the Storm, and the official calls him for offsides. Storm player down near the goal box. Official calls timeout.
Looks like you may get some assistance from the trainer here momentarily. Looks
to be a possible cramping situation here as he's trying to get little bit more water.
Beekler and Perez, the suspects. A little bit of contact that may have sparked that cramp.
So just over 30 minutes remaining in the game here. Storm with a 2-0 lead. They came out early in the first half with a goal in the first 10 minutes. They come out in the second half, same story, able to get a second goal, make the lead 2-0. So the Vikings coming from behind here, having to get on their horse in order to put 2 more goals up on the board in order for them to come back. And there you can see Wayne York for the Storm, able to slowly walk off the field, the sophomore midfielder. And that is always a good sign when you can see the player get up and walk off under his own power. Hopefully he can get some fluids in him and perhaps even come back into this game later.
Yeah, you hope so, because, you know, especially at this level, injuries can really affect a player's season, maybe more so, simply because the size of the school, the roster, may be affected by a single player's absence.
And now that York has exited the field, we will get back under play here momentarily. It looks to be Tyler Cancel who will take this free kick for the Storm.
As we resume play, closing in on the 30-minute mark.
Nice kick, Tyler.
On the far side now, Storm trying to get something started. But the Vikings defense holding strong there as Johnson's able to get it over to Bamer. Bamer getting very physical with the defender there as the official finally calls a foul, and it will stay Vikings ball.
Bamer not shy to be physical. We saw him earlier in the first half. He was taken out of the game due to some cramping. He was stretching on the sideline. Looks to come back now. He's been a contributing factor so far on that far sideline for the Vikings thus far. Kind of a defensive stopper.
The kick here into the box, and just past the diving Jose Montejo. Trying to head that one into the back of the net, but just out of his reach. Some substitutions coming on now for the Storm as they'll get some fresh legs here, as we just saw one of their players walk off with a little bit of cramping issues. So I'm sure Coach Alex Reyes of the Storm is keeping a close tabs on his players, trying to make sure that they avoid this ever. Bamer with a little bit of a breakaway here. Tries to get to Lagurcio. Lagurcio with some room. Kicks it through the legs of Reichenbach into the back of the net.
Some fancy footwork pays off for Lagurcio as he 1-2 steps past a couple defenders and finds the back of the net. Vikings cut the lead in half. We're going to see on the replay here momentarily that Lagurcio simply works after he gets the feed from Johnson. From Bamer. He's able to use a pick there from Perez, distracts a defender, and goaltender is really split between Perez and Lagurcio.
And just like that, Bethany cuts the lead in half, and we have a 1-goal deficit here for the Vikings as Lee Leal in the corner for the Vikings. And so just like that, Lagurcio, one of our players to watch today, was able to find the back of the net. Bamer kicks it off here towards midfield. Storm with the ball at midfield. Into the corner. Looking to put it into the box. And it is sailed wide and past the net. So it'll be a goal kick for the Vikings.
Just a reminder, following the game here this afternoon, it's the women's Brown Storm versus Bethany Lutheran College Vikings. Those two teams squaring off again in another non-conference matchup between conference teams.
And so throwing it in, Beekler gets it to Klubal. Klubal going to Johnson. Johnson back to Montejo. And that one will go out of bounds. Vikings ball here at midfield. Bamer will take the kick.
That one is booted into the box and into the arms of Reichenbach. Intercepted there by Klubal to Lagurcio, and Perez waiting in the far corner, has it taken away from him. Perez still tracking, ball is poked away. It'll stay with the Storm as they look to push. And the ball will be sent back into the foot of Bitter, who kicks it back to midfield, where it's intercepted by the Storm.
Good defense there by the Vikings to stop that attack, as they will quickly shift to the offensive mind as they were doing some good defense. As Perez has a little bit of chance here, and he gets it in the back of the net. Vikings tie it up at 2.
Beautiful ball from Mike Lagurcio. Those are two players to watch. Lagurcio, Perez working well with each other this afternoon, and Vikings capitalize again. Beautiful little ball, beautiful little tip to the back of the net. Jorge Perez.
You can see on the replay here, Perez uses his left foot, puts it in the back corner of the net, and 2 goals unanswered by Lagurcio, and now Perez tied up at 2. So our 2 players to watch, Jorge Perez and Michael Lagurcio, with the goals today.
Vikings right back in this game.
Yes, they are, Brian, as the Storm have the ball at midfield. And so Bitter will unleash this kick towards midfield. Brady Johnson trying to find Lagurcio, and Lagurcio not able to corral it as the Storm will come away with it.
Hey, come on, Beekler.
Good defense there by Klubal to block that pass, as that will go out of bounds, and it will shift to Vikings ball. Substitutions coming on now for the Vikings. Looks to be Miles Abraha coming on. Perez goes off. On comes Brown. Off goes Lagurcio. So some subs for the Vikings this time now, Brian.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lagurcio and Perez both come back into the game as we get into the later minutes of this second half.
Lagurcio and Perez, the two who have scored for the Vikings thus far, taking a seat on the bench for a little while here, as I'm sure Coach Peipel wanting to get their legs as much rest as possible, try to put them back in, as you said, Brian, in the later minutes of this one, as there's just under 23 minutes remaining in the game.
Just a reminder, unlimited substitutions at the D3 college soccer level is Lee Leal with the throw-in, and that's going to be intercepted by the Crown, but back to Leal. Brady Johnson looks to swing it to the middle. It's Klubal controlling. Beekler punches toward the box. That's headed back out.
Lee Leal trying to corral it there as Brady Johnson was in the area as well. Irizarry has it now, and he passes it back. Crown looking to set something up. Their offense gone a little stagnant recent minutes as the Vikings have had 2 unanswered goals. Throw in there by the Vikings. Going into the corner, a lot of contact there, but play continues. Jose Montejo still on the ground for the Vikings. And Crown Storm with a little bit of a chance. Bitter gets his hands on it and able to corral that one. The Storm not able to capitalize. Montejo still down for the Vikings as play continues. And finally, officials will tend to Montejo as the ball goes out of bounds.
Great defensive presence in the box by the Vikings. They're going to pick up their goaltender, Bitter, who had committed to the first ball, and then the loose rebound was almost capitalized upon by the Crown Storm.
So a trainer will run out there again to look at Montejo.
Clock is going to stop as we get a break in this action here. Tied at 2. Jose Montejo, been a strong presence on the far side for the Vikings this afternoon. Oh, but he was involved in both of the goals by Lagurcio and Perez, so hopefully he's okay. A couple of subs waiting to come in for the Vikings as well. As we look at this replay here of Montejo going down, it looks like he just took the hard stumble. It's good to see him walking off the field.
Subbing in for your Vikings, number 18, Tomas Fan.
Tomas Fan will come in, taking over from Montejo, as Montejo will take a seat on the bench. And now the Vikings will have their player throw in. Clue ball trying to get something started. Brown trying to chase this one down. A lot of contact, and the officials finally blow the whistle on Brown for a contact on Nolan Peterson of the Storm. Storm quickly get the ball into play. Clue ball cuts that off. Storm will regain possession.
battle at midfield. Jostling. The Storm is going to come away with it. Every possession key as we find ourselves within 20 minutes. A little bit of miscommunication there, but Bitter is able to corral. That was Jake Bamer and Matthew Bitter. So Bitter with the strong kick. Lots of very powerful kicks from Bitter today. I don't know if you've noticed that, Ryan, but I don't think I've seen a kick by Bitter that hasn't gone past midfield. I'm sorry, hasn't gone shorter than midfield.
Indeed, Brian. Indeed. Bitter has a leg. In fact, he's got 2 of them. As that one goes out of bounds. Vikings will throw in.
It's going to be
Subbing
fun.
in for your Vikings, number 11, Nels Abraham.
Substitution for the Vikings as Baraha comes back on. Ryan Bamer goes back to the sidelines. Crown had the ball there for a second, but Bitter will come out and take a hack at it as that one will go to midfield. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball with just under 20 minutes remaining here, Brian. And so the Vikings will have possession on their side of midfield. Jake Bamer's got it. Throws it down into the corner. At least trying to anyway. Ball's changing possession ever quickly here as a lot of battles going on between the Storm and the Vikings as finally Vikings are able to corral it, it looks like. Trying to get an offensive chance. No. And that one will go out of bounds.
I think that's the type of play that neither coach wants to see at this stage of the game. The back and forth, uncontrolled play. It really is a detriment to the stamina of these players, especially as we get down into the later minutes of this second half. Legurcio and Perez still on the sidelines for the Vikings. As the Vikings will control from midfield. Clue ball. Sends it, but it's booted out. It's going to be Storm ball after the Vikings can't control on the far sideline. We'll see a throw in here
Subbing in for Crown College, number
after a
9,
couple
Christian
substitutions.
Olarte. Subbing in for your Vikings, number 3, Michael Legurcio, and number 9,
Michael
Jorge
Legurcio
Perez.
and Perez coming into the game for the Vikings. So they look to bolster that offensive front line.
Just as you said, Brian, Legurcio and Perez coming back into the game in the later minutes of the game. Looks like they sat on the bench for about somewhere around 8 minutes or so, and so they'll come back on after a little bit of a rest and try to put the ball back into the net and send the Vikings home winners.
That's a lot of time for soccer players. That's plenty of time to get some fluids back in you, rest the legs a little bit, and I'm sure they're ready to come back out strong.
Both these teams played each other last weekend, ended in a 1-1 tie. Both teams trying to avoid that result this week. 2-2. Gotta think neither coach would be terribly happy coming away with a tie. Both teams trying to come away with a victory today.
Fon wins the header, but it's controlled and sent down into the Vikings box, but it's picked up by Bitter. And he'll look to send it down the field as the Vikings take possession.
Bitter comes out and grabs it before it was any more trouble than it should have been, as Nolan Peterson was in the area, or excuse me, Christian Olarte was in the area. Johnson had it, back to Legurcio. Legurcio gets it over before it is blocked by the Storm defender.
Vikings looking for that one-time feed to Legurcio and Perez, both of them near the box. There's a potential opportunity.
Brady Johnson near the box, getting bumped from behind by the Storm defender. Gets it to Klubal at the top. Klubal sends it in. Some room, and Reichenbach lands on it before the Vikings were able to do anything more with it. And so 15 minutes remaining here in the second half. All knotted up at 2. A beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Mankato, Minnesota. These two UMAC teams coming together to provide us with some entertaining Division III soccer action. Bitter with the save there. Nice catch by Bitter as he gets that up the field to Albraha. Albraha loses possession, goes back to Storm. Leal trying to come over there.
Good acrobatic, athletic move by Leal to keep it in bounds. It's going to stay Viking ball. Leal with throwing.
Storm defender Silione there. Midfield, a little bit of space. Klubal gets tripped up from behind by Olarte, and so it will go to be the Vikings' ball.
We got 13, let's go.
Either team hopefully not running out of gas just yet, as there's still 13:30 remaining. Both teams trying to get one last goal before the final horn toots, and so Storm at midfield. Going back for Bitter, and Bitter comes out, is able to send it long. Perez with some room, trying to get it before it is cut off, but it is cut off. Storm with the ball at midfield. Johnson, fancy footwork, gets it in to Perez. Gurcio had it, tried to feed it back to Perez, but it got cleared out. Back to midfield, Leal trying to find Klubal, but misses. And that'll go back to the Storm. So the Storm sends it down, looking for the box, and Bitter. Bitter heads it back out. He came a long way out of the goal there. So Olarte trying to do something. Leal comes out, able to stop him as Brady Johnson gets it over to Fan. Back to Brady Johnson.
Keep working, White, keep working.
Perez tries to get Lagurcio, but some good defense there by the Storm. Brady Johnson looking for his man, but he is tripped up before the ball goes out of bounds. There, Abraha took the fall. Silione was able to clear it out.
Big corner kick here for the Vikings with less than 12 minutes to go in this half.
Yeah, Vikings trying to score here to make it 3-2. Trying to get on the board before the end of the game.
Another couple substitutions for the Vikings real quick. It's Jose Montejo re-enters the game, along with Ryan Bamer. Has the corner kick. It's going to come from Johnson.
A low line corner kick. Perez comes out, tries to get it, but no. Storm defenders all over. And so good idea by Johnson to put it on the ground, but nothing doing as Crown sends it into the box. Bitter comes out, tries to get it, and he does. Bitter very aggressive coming out there. Miscommunication for the Vikings there. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be Crown ball. Throwing it in on the near side.
Time! Time! Oh, hey, line.
Good defense there by the Vikings after that turnover to keep the attack at bay.
Storm looking to slow things down as we break the 10-minute mark in the half. Vikings regain possession on the near side now. There's Perez in the midfield. Kicks it back to Beekler, who sends it long for Lagercio. He's got a little bit of room on the near sideline. Some footwork. Crosses. Ball is up high in the box. And now on the far side, it's Bamer who takes possession away. Ball was sent in there by Jose Montejo, but no one there for the Vikings.
Go, Josh.
Vikings this half have had the momentum as of late, having some good offensive chances. Storm struggling to get their offensive chances. Haven't had as many shots on goal as the Vikings have in the last, I'd say 20 minutes or so. But an opportunity here thrown in on the near side. And they'll finally have a possession on their side of midfield. Throw in here with just over 8 minutes remaining in this one. A lot of contact there, as looks like Montejo was called for the foul, and so it will be a free kick for the Storm in a good-looking spot for it anyway. An opportunity to send it into the box, see if they can make something happen. Free kick will come from Shetler. Sends it into the box, and Leal is there to knock it out right away. This one gets sent towards the box, and it is very wide left for a goal kick for Bitter now. Jake Bamer will actually take it for Bitter. This one's headed towards midfield. There's Perez. Perez tries to get it over to Kenny Johnson in the corner, who keeps it from going out of bounds. Kenny Johnson again. He's got it. Puts it into the box. Ball's in the air, tipped around by Reichenbach, and he's able to get it out of play.
Nice little ball sent to the top of the box. There were 3 Vikings in position and waiting for that ball from Johnson. Unfortunately, that header just a bit high.
So Reichenbach will put it up towards midfield. This is corralled by Jared Jones. Jared Jones puts it towards the box. Bitter tries to come out, and he does corral the ball safely as he will punt that back. Ryan Bamer trying to get it. Some Crown players in the area. A lot of contact, and Bamer falls to the ground. He was landed on by Nolan Peterson, and it'll stay Vikings ball. Johnson with the ball here. Gets it down in the corner looking for Kenny Johnson. He'll kick it back up top. Back to Brady Johnson now. Looking for Jake Bamer. Bamer's got it. And that one will go out of bounds, and that'll be another goal kick for the Storm. Or I should say it was off the Storm player, so it'll actually result in a kick from the corner for the Vikings. Johnson gets to Lagurcio. Lagurcio puts it into the box, bounced around, but Reichenbach able to corral it.
Jorge Perez ready for the header. Just couldn't quite put enough English on it to lift it above the goaltender, Reichenbach.
Lee Leal very aggressive there on the play. Ryan Bamer able to get it back. Leal able to get it. So some good hustle plays there by the Vikings. Perez out there, but Reichenbach's able to scoop it up. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the game here, and we are all tied up at 2. It is a close one here today in Mankato as Kenny Johnson puts it over to Klubal at midfield. Lagurcio scored the first goal for the Vikings as he gets it to Perez. Perez scored the second goal for the Vikings. Lagurcio again able to steal the ball away. Gives it over to Kenny Johnson.
Lagurcio seemed to be a little upset with the decisions of his teammates in the area. There's Perez and Lagurcio. Sends it into the box off a Storm player. So we're going to get another corner kick here as Brady Johnson heads for the kick.
Very important corner kick here for the Vikings. Johnson will tee it up with just over 3 minutes remaining in the second half. Goes into the box, bouncing around. Dangerous play, but Reichenbach able to fall on it.
The ball was headed right for the net, but there was a Storm player standing between the ball and the back of the net. Actually went off his shoulder and then into the arms of the goaltender, Reichenbach.
Yeah, Storm defenders in front of the net there, trying to keep the ball from going into the back of the net. So some good defense on their part. Some players hit the turf there. Ends up Brady Johnson getting a little bit of a breakaway as he sends it down towards the box. Ryan Bamer chasing after it. Ball goes out of bounds. Storm ball. 2.5 minutes remaining in the second half, as we could just be heading for overtime here in Mankato if neither team can put another goal on the board in the next 2 minutes and 20 seconds. A little bit of a breakaway here, but Jake Bamer has nothing of it. A lot of contact there. Official blows his whistle. Down on the ground hard is the Storm.
I think that was shoulder to chin contact there, so jarring hit. Good to see. It's Wayne York up on his feet. Lee Leal guiding the defense here as the Vikings are preparing to defend this free kick. Less than 2 minutes to go.
And that one's headed towards the box. Bitter had it, dropped it. I was able to corral it again, and so Storm opportunity comes up empty. And that one is shot into the street. Storm player on the ground again. Just over a minute remaining in regulation.
One minute remaining.
Just under a minute remaining here in the second half. A little bit of some room for the Storm. bouncing around midfield. Either team trying to get one last offensive push. Bitter comes out of the box. He trips the Storm player, Jared Jones, in the box. Jared Jones limping a bit.
As is the goaltender, Matt Bitter. Still waiting for a call from the official. He's checking on the status.
11 seconds remaining here as
we look at the replay. Charge into the zone and a vicious slide tackle from Bitter. It looks like it's going to be Viking ball. A free kick coming. And Jared Jones is not pleased with the referee's decision there, but how can you be with 11 seconds remaining?
they had some time back on the clock, so there's 21 remaining. And so Vikings will likely sit on it here and play for overtime.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Johnson shoots that out of bounds. Storm, one last throw in. One last chance for the Storm. Collision in the box between Bitter and Samza of the Storm. And that will do it for regulation here in Mankato. As it looks like, Brian, we are going to be getting some bonus soccer coverage here in Mankato as the Storm and the Vikings head to overtime, tied at 2. You can look on the replay here of the Vikings coming back in the second half and able to put some more points on the board.
That's right. The Storm came out early, scored 1-0 at the half. Storm again came out, capitalized on a Viking mistake, but the Vikings came back strong with 2 pretty goals. Finding the back of the net was Lugercio and Perez. So we're going to get some bonus hockey. Excuse me, soccer. You know, we're getting into that time of the year, and there's plenty of hockey to be had. Everyone's excited about the season coming in. But right now we're enjoying this beautiful afternoon, some non-conference UMAC soccer.
And so we, Brian Christensen and I, Ryan Kasserschmidt, will bring to you some bonus coverage of UMAC soccer between the Vikings and the Storm after this. Welcome back to Mankato, Minnesota.
We're taking a look at the goals here. We're in overtime, folks, but how did we get here? A couple costly mistakes by the Vikings. Gave up a goal in the first. One at the start of the second as we get a look at that crown goal there. Bitter came out just a little bit too soon, but the Vikings came back. A little beauty by Lugercio puts it past the goaltender Reichenbach. We see it again there. Finds the back of the net, does Lugercio. And then later in the period, it's Perez finding his way to the back of the net. 2-2 here. Storm, Vikings. Ryan, what are you expecting here in overtime?
Well, Brian, physical play is the theme today as both teams have been very physical, both on offense and on defense. Vikings with 2 unanswered goals here. Storm had an early goal in the first half, had an early goal in the second half, and so I think that I would not be surprised to see the Storm potentially come out and score an early goal in overtime. But both teams did come to a 1-1 tie last week, and so I also would not be surprised if this game ended where it is at 2-2.
Well, we're about to find out here as the ball is tipped. Storm open up the overtime period. 10 minutes of free soccer. Both teams are obviously going to be mildly aggressive. But we saw in those first 2 Storm goals that the aggressiveness of the Vikings defense proved to be costly.
Storm getting a little bit of offense here, more than they really had in the last 20 or 30 minutes of the second half. Really struggling on the offensive side. to at least get some consistent pressure on the Viking defense as this one is thrown into the box, bounced around and cleared out by Jake Bamer. Waiting for it, Storm player Angelos Leone there as Bitter comes out of the box to try to grab that one as well.
Vikings are going to regain possession here.
Yes, they are, as that one goes down the field. Storm putting some good defensive pressure on the Vikings. Montejo throws that one down in the corner. Bamer chasing after it. Some contact there. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Vikings ball. Ryan Bamer will throw it in for the Vikings. Throws it in for Lagurcio. Lagurcio's got it around the box. Gets it back out. Throw into the box by Perez, and that one's kicked out of play by the Storm. So a corner kick coming for the Vikings. Looks like Brady Johnson, the left-footed kicker, will come out.
Johnson been the corner kicker all afternoon for the Vikings, but neither one of their goals coming off a set piece here. Let's see if they can capitalize off of this. Vikings a little bit better in transition this afternoon.
And so Johnson will kick it from the corner.
Referee's
Here as soon as the officials clear up whatever situation they're talking to the Storm and Bethany player about, as the clocks come to a stop at 7:50 remaining in overtime. Johnson sends it in on the ground. A chance, no! Vikings had a good shot at it, but that kick went high and just a bit wide. And so it will result in a goal kick from the Storm. Clue ball at midfield. Heads it to himself. A little bit of contact. Gets it to Kenny Johnson. Kenny Johnson. Ball goes through the legs of several players. Results in Storm possession.
Jorge Perez came off of that limping a little bit. See how that'll affect him the rest of this overtime period. It's Johnson. Lets it go for Perez. Stumbles over the ball. Struggles for possession. But it's maintained. It's Beekler now. Gershio and Perez on the near side.
Mike.
Clue ball gets it over to Brady Johnson as he goes toward the far side. Now back inside as that one's put into the box. Ryan Bamer had a shot at possession there, but couldn't quite grab it. Goes back out. Lee Leal all over it. Gets it back to Montejo. Montejo tries to get to Johnson. A lot of contact, and that'll stay Crown ball. Oh, official calls him offsides, and so it'll be Bethany ball here as 6 minutes remain here in the overtime period. Brady Johnson gets it in to Clue ball. Clue ball over, tries to put it into the box. No, there's a chance there for Bamer. He grabs it, throws it in for Reichenbach, and Reichenbach was able to corral it. A little bit of room here for the Storm as on the offensive there, Jared Jones, as that one heads for Steinkamp. Still around the ball of Steinkamp, but Vikings able to stop that drive. That one's headed in, aimed for Samsa. Samsa trying to get it again.
Halfway through this overtime period, Vikings with a couple of opportunities haven't capitalized yet. They're going to stay aggressive here. Is that throw in by Lee Leal? And Kluball's got some open room. Sends it to the far corner. home for the Vikings.
Brian, make sure you're speaking in your mic closer. It's kind of losing you. It's all good.
4:20 remaining in overtime. Vikings with the ball. Trying to get it out of their end as the Storm had an offensive possession going. Still has it. Jensen's got it. Throwing to the box. He's got a man up into the air. Montejo's got it. Jared Jones in possession. Jones sends it in the box. Bitter grabs it. Easy save. And he will let this one fly down the field.
Little miscue there.
Perez with the ball, and then it goes to Bamer. Bamer still got it, still going. Up into the air. Storm able to corral it. To the near side. Going down into the corner. Steinkamp puts it across. Bitter comes out. Scoops it up. And he will have his goal kick. Samsa was in the area, so Bitter ran out, scooped it up. No problemo. 3 minutes remaining in overtime. Brady Johnson with the ball. Trying to make something happen here as time is running short on the Vikings. A physical play there by Jared Jones, practically throwing Brady Johnson to the ground. Johnson with a little bit of a cramp. Looked like he was stretching it out, but Brady will tough this one out, and looks like
So Vikings will get the free kick here. Sends it to the box. Just long. And nothing doing in that attempt by the Vikings. So it's going to be a goal kick here for the Storm. As we hit the 2-minute mark remaining in overtime again after this single overtime period. If neither team can find the back of the net, we will end this match in a tie.
goal kick here for Reichenbach. Perez handles it near midfield. Ball goes out of bounds. And we are approaching 1.5 minutes remaining in this overtime period. As Allen was sent into the box for an opportunity, but the Storm defenders were there. Still, looks like we'll have a corner kick then. Kicks it in. Johnson's got it. Throws it into the box. Bouncing around. But Reichenbach's got it.
Another close attempt there. It's the Vikings' 5th attempt here in this overtime period. 5th opportunity.
1 minute remaining.
And we're going to get a penalty here.
.40 seconds remaining in this one. Vikings setting up their last opportunity. 30 seconds and counting. Kick is up, going towards the box.
Jorge Perez in the area. Unable to bring it down. 15 seconds remaining. One more opportunity.
10, 9,
10 seconds for Crown as they hold possession, trying to send it down.
3, 2,
And it looks like this one is going to end in a tie. The second time in as many weeks, Crown and Bethany Lutheran end their contests in a tie. back at Bethany Lutheran College here in Mankato, Minnesota. Thanks for joining us today on KTV Sports. Ryan Cashenschmidt. I'm Brian Christensen. We're headed into our second period of overtime, tied at 2. Vikings and the Storm. Their second time playing in as many weeks. Last week, it was a contest at Crown College. That one ended in a 1-1 tie after 2 full periods and 2 overtime periods. We're headed into our second 10-minute overtime period here. Tied at 2. Storm came out and scored a quick goal in the first period. Came out in the second half, scored a quick one there. But the Vikings responded with 2 more of their own. We've been silent ever since.
Just a reminder that after the conclusion of this game, don't go anywhere because we will bring to you more soccer action between the Bethany Lutheran College women and the Crown Storm women, as their game's scheduled to tee off here in about 5 minutes. Will, of course, be pushed back, but it will be played after this.
We want to thank our viewers for staying with us for some exciting D3 college soccer. Vikings possession now as we have flipped the field a couple times now. It's Ligurgio on the near side. He's going to send it in to the box. That's Kenny Johnson getting pushed around a little bit out to the midfield. It's Clue ball. Now Beekler has it taken away from him. Clue ball regains. Brady Johnson. Looking for an opening. Defended well. Oh, a big opportunity there by the Vikings. Can't capitalize as the ball is flicked away. And here come the Storm in transition.
.7:45 remaining here in the second overtime. Vikings with the ball around midfield. Kicking it down in the corner. Kenny Johnson chasing after it. And the ball is pushed out of bounds. Vikings with the ball up top. Brady Johnson throws it into the box, looking for Jorge Perez. Out comes Reichenbach, and he will settle for a goal kick. Sends it out for Cancel. Cancel puts it down the near side. Leal able to head it there. Bamer with the ball.
Good, Christian.
Whistle blown there. And it'll be Crown possession. Ball bouncing around midfield. Both teams trading a little bit of possession here. Vikings end up with it. Perez has got it. And the ball is sent out of bounds. And Brady Johnson will have a corner kick here, Brian. Yeah, Brian, so Brady will take it off here. Good opportunity for the Vikings as it's sent into the box. Past Ligurgio. A shot opportunity, no.
Just barely poked away there by the Storm defense. Here's another chance. Yo, just wide of the far post.
Dave.
Subbing in for Crown College.
A lot of opportunities there for the Vikings, Brian.
A couple good looks by Perez and Ligurgio as well. Just one too many Crown feet in the box to find the back of the net.
So we reached the halfway mark here. A lot of contact there as taking the fall is Bamer. And it will be Vikings ball with a nice set-piece position, Brian.
Brady Johnson, again, the left-footed striker. We'll see if he can place one, maybe on the head of Perez or Ligurgio. Into the box, just long, just over the outstretched head of a couple Vikings players. But we are going to get another corner kick here. Looks like Beekler is going to take this one quickly. The Vikings running. Oh, there's Brady. Back in for the Vikings. Lots of pushing as the kick was in the air, and a Viking player still on the ground. No whistle yet from the ref. Another corner kick, still a Viking player on the ground.
Couple heads bumped there as a lot of contact going up for the ball. Viking player came down hard, and the training staff quickly out to check on the status of Jorge Perez. Senior forward scored a goal for the Vikings today. A little shaken up here. As we've been talking about all day, Brian, physical game between these two teams. And this is evidence of that, as players have been on the ground often today, and yet another one here, Perez, as he will walk off the field slowly.
Perez has had a lot of time on the field today as we hit the 2.5 hour mark on our broadcast. Kaylee Prim, head trainer for the Bethany Lutheran College Vikings.
Subbing in for your Vikings, number
Sees
15,
to
Roderick Brown.
Jorge's health as he is able to walk off the field on his own strength. 4:06 remaining in the second overtime period.
Got to figure, Brian, if looked like Perez had contact to his head, training staff can be very careful with anything to do with the head nowadays to make sure concussion protocol is followed. As this one sent into the box, Broderick Brown had a chance, tipped out by Reichenbach.
Very nice little flick of the foot there by Broderick Brown. Just a little bit too much air underneath it. Otherwise, that one may have had a chance to find the back of the net. Vikings, their fourth, is that right, Ryan? Their fourth corner set piece in just this period alone.
Vikings with lots of opportunities. That was another example of it, just coming so agonizingly close to putting it in the back of the net. Brady Johnson with an opportunity here. He's got some room. Left-footed, wide. Johnson knows he missed that one.
One of the things coming into play this late in the game is the stamina of the teams. And right now, it looks like the Vikings have the upper hand. Brady Johnson there, he was able to run to the middle of the field really with no defenders on him. Had a clean look there, just couldn't quite get the laces in the right spot.
Johnson again tries to put it in the box for Bamer, but good defense there by the Storm.
Blue ball following his man. Crown's first true offensive possession this period. And that one is cleared almost immediately by Jake Bamer, but we're going to get a Crown throw-in. 2.5 minutes remaining. Viking defense clears.
Storm trying to do something in this overtime period. Vikings have thus far had the upper hand and a lot of close opportunities. Storm trying to make something happened for them, but here again goes Brady Johnson down the far side. A lot of contact there, and Johnson with a little bit of a push, and I think that's what the official is going to call him out on.
This game not short of contact and physicality. But like you said, Ryan, we talked about it earlier. These in-conference rivals, although this is a non-conference game, they've played each other once already this season. Last week, in fact, that there is an aspect of familiarity and really a rivalry is, I think, what we're seeing happen on the soccer pitch today.
Whistle blows there for the official. A lot of contact.
Vikings setting up to defend the set piece now. This is a big free kick as we approach the 1 minute remaining mark. This free kick will be taken just on the edge of the box. So we've got a 5-man line of Viking defenders standing between the free kicker. This is going to be Christian Olarte. Derek Bosey takes the kick. That kick just wide. And the Vikings wall proves to be unbreakable.
That kick, a shot Scott Norwood would be proud of, just wide right. Down goes towards midfield.
30 seconds remaining. Battle for the ball in midfield. Clue ball in contention with Olarte. We're going to get a whistle and a free kick on the way.
10, 9.
Stop.
Nine seconds on the clock right now. Still waiting for an official decision. Looks like there's going to be a yellow card, handed out. And with that penalty comes the exchange of possession and a free kick. Good field position for the upcoming kick. This is going to be Tyler Cancel, the San Diego native.
So Cancel will set up this free kick. The official with the first card of the day here with 9 seconds remaining in the second overtime. And the kick goes up towards the box. It's high hit. A lot of contact in the box, but Bitter is able to grab it. And that will do it for the second overtime. Tied at 2. Very physical ball game today. And that will close the books on this marathon 2 overtime game between the Storm and the Vikings. And so yet again, they will end in a tie. As you can see, this last play here, contact between Bitter and Christian Olarte. Bitter was able to grab on, secure the tie, and both teams will walk out of here with a tie in the non-conference matchup here today. Brian, what are your thoughts on today's action?
Well, back and forth, I think, physically speaking, a lot of good battles at the midfield position too. Clue Ball working hard to control his field. But really, it came down to the last second. It was, yes, back and forth, but both teams very evenly matched on the field today. And as you saw in that last play, Olarte just inches away from finding the back of the net.
And so that does it for us here in Mankato, Minnesota. Vikings 2, Crown Storm 2.
Send it to break anytime.
It ends in a tie, and so Bethany will go to 0-1-2, and then we'll have their second tie of the season. Storm will also have their second tie of the season. And so for Ryan Kassenschmidt and Brian Christensen, thank you for watching today's action here on KTV, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.